Hello everybody, welcome to Chow Time. I am Spike Spencer, this is my kitchen, and today I'm really excited. We're doing something that a lot of people don't do. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do a show on carrot tops. Yes, carrots, tops. I am one of those people, this is sort of my philosophy in cooking is I grow some of my own food. I'm still learning, I'm learning to garden, I'm homesteading and foraging and all of that. So I really dig it. I think it's a lot of fun. But something you'll know if you've ever worked in the kitchen, you want to save every piece of everything that you can. You have to stretch that restaurant dollar as far as you can. I do the same thing with my family. I want to make sure that I have food. And if I have mounds and mounds of carrot tops, tons of vitamins are in these bad boys. These are so healthy and so good for you, and yet most people just throw them out. And I said, well, I don't want to. I can look out in the yard and I have like 10 foot by 12, 13 feet, whatever. It's a mass of this. So I figured, what do I do with it? So I've come up with a lot of things. So I'm going to give you several of those right now. Yay! Okay, check this out. First thing I do, when I go and harvest my carrots, there's a lot of the green here that I'm not going to be using right away. So I take it like this. I wash everything really well, let it dry a bit, shake all the water out. Then I put a rubber band around the edge and I hang it. I hang it out in a closet, out in the gym area, a garage area, a utility area that I have. And I just hang it, leave it alone. Don't even think about it. A couple weeks later, I go in there. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I had all those carrot tops in there. So now it is completely dry, very, very dry. And it's just hung on a nail. Seriously, hung on a nail on the wall. There you go. Now, all of this is very, very dry. Well, all the nutrients are still packed in there. So I take this and I just start pulling all the stuff down, get all those leaves off, because the stems are really thick and they're now just little sticks, right? A lot of these sticks you can blend down and grind down, and it'll turn into a powder. But basically, I'm going to take all of this. Now see how brittle they are? I just take that and I throw that away. No worries there. And I put a bowl out, and as I leave it out for a week or however long, when I'm not doing anything in the kitchen, I'll look over and I'll go, oh, okay, there's some stems in there. I'll take some stems out, like this. Oh yeah, stems, stems. And the rest I'll just crunch and crunch it, crunch, until I get it down to something like that. Okay, that will go into my blender, and I will just grind it into a powder. Actually, not this blender. Sorry, I'll use a coffee grinder. I have a spice grinder. I don't use coffee. I just do it for spices. And what happens is it becomes a powder, and there it is. Check that out. These are powdered greens. I'm not doing any sales logos for other people, so there it is. Powdered greens. These are not just carrot tops. So there were turnip greens, some kale, some other, whatever greens I had out there. I think I had some chard, and I just dried it all, powdered it up. This is awesome in shakes, in like smoothies and things like that. You're going to add so much nutrition. You know, people spend hundreds of dollars on these athletic greens things, which we take as well. We have another one, but I have some at home. And I take that powder, I will put the powder in meatloaf, meatballs, soups, stews, anything, and it just adds an extra nutritional punch. That's really cool. All right, that's one way, dried. Another way is, let's harvest a little bit here. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going to cut some of this from the tips here. See, the stems here are really thick. I don't really know what to do with those, to be honest with you. So I'll peel some of these things off that are, greener. The stems, I'm sure, could go into a stock or something. I don't know if it would flavor it all that much. It does have quite a floral, grassy flavor to it. Then you can just cut off the ends. You can pull the ends off like this. And if you get too much stemmy stuff, you're going to have to cut around that, right? But most of the thin stems, they'll do fine. And you pull them off. And what we're going to do is we're going to blanch them. Blanching, you might hear it blanch and shock. You blanch them and then you throw it in a bowl of ice, cold water. It stops the cooking immediately. And that is the process that you would do to freeze. And that's what I'll do with a lot of this. I will just blanch it, shock it, and then I will freeze it. And you don't have to blanch it for long at all. I've got a bowl of water here that I'm boiling just so I can show you the process real quick. Once I pull some of these off. Now, I wanted to pull all these off as I'm talking to you because, see, as I'm pulling it off, some of these are pretty big up here. So I might use a knife and just cut all these off from the stem as best I can. But for the most part, you can do it with your hands and get a good amount out here. Like I'm just doing this batch here. You just eat it. It's pretty nice. Like I say, it's kind of grassy, floral. This one's got a little bit of a bitterness to it. But we're going to do something fun with this. We're going to do what is called, it's a Japanese dish. Let's go, ooh, this one's got a little pepper to it. Interesting. I don't remember having a pepperiness. I wonder what that means. I do not know. If any of you understands what that is, please, in the comments, tell me, why are my carrot tops peppery? There we go. All right. Finish that off. I guess I can give these to the chickens. They'll probably eat them. They eat everything. Why not? So you want to get rid of any junky, brown stuff. Now, you don't want to chop this down too much. I'm going to give it a couple of chops, a couple of rough chops. That's actually it because I want to have a little bit of heft to it. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to drop it right in the water here. And I'm just going to turn the water off right there because it doesn't need much, let me tell you. And of course, now that I've done this, I have no way of pulling this stuff out. Like I told you guys, this is my kitchen. It's shot pretty much on the fly, so I have to go grab things from time to time, like now. There we go. Right. Now, I would take a little bowl with ice, a little water, don't need much here. I'm going to pull this out right now. Woo. See, and it gets even more green. Look at all that steam. Steamy. Steamy. All right. I'll pull this out. And like I say, you don't want to do it too long. You just want to get enough where it just breaks things down a hair. Now, it is in the water. It is stopping the cooking process. I want to move things around. Stop that cooking process. So it still has that pop of green. Nice. It's got a little chew to it. Very nice. Now at this point, take it out. I want to get all of the liquid out of it. If I can. This is going to be a small batch, just a little side showing of what we can do. Now, I have carrot tops that have now been blanched. Here's one opportunity here. Now that you've got them blanched, you can take this and put it in a freezer bag. Get all of the air out of it. Put down the date, 1/12/24. These carrot tops have been in there for a while. That's fine. So now I have the carrot tops that have been blanched, put in the freezer for later. What will I do with those? I wouldn't do a tsunamono, which I'm doing here. I wouldn't do that with them because they've been frozen. So I don't think they're as good for me. You could totally dig it, but I would take it out and I would chop those up and I would put them in a soup. Or chop them up real fine, and like I said before, put it in a meatloaf, put it in a lasagna, put it in a meatballs, things like that. Sneak it into your kids' food. Good idea. All right, so looking at this, it's fresh, it's green, it's beautiful. A couple of big stems here. So, tasty. I don't think I'd want that in my tsunamono, but then again, you might. You don't want it to be too chopped up. You want it to have a little bite to it, so you got a little something there. I think it looks great. Now, I would put that in a bowl, and I would use some tsunamono dressing. Now, what is tsunamono dressing? Again, that's going to be another show. because the dressing is on its own. It can be anything, right? So I pre-make a lot of my sauces. If you've got a recipe for a sauce, any kind of sauce that is like heavy on, say, vinegar or something like that, it'll keep forever. It keeps for so long. So don't worry about it. Make one. I just get one and go, I'm right on across. Tsunamono. So what this is, let's see what else in here. Maybe rice wine vinegar, mirin, maybe a dash of soy sauce, some honey or brown sugar, something like that. It could be all kinds of different things. Again, it comes down to your recipe. But what I would do is I would dress this here, put a little bit of the tsunamono, not a lot. Careful, don't go crazy. Y'all know me, I'm really one for not overdoing things. Shh, don't tell anybody. All right, this is a nice little salad. You just toss this a little bit. Get a little, there we go. Then I would take, where are my sesame seeds? Here we go. I take a little sesame seeds, give a little sprinkle. Sprinkle-dinkle-dinkle. There we go. Beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? That's right, everybody. It's tsunamono. Hey! There, we have tsunamono. Tsunamono. This is a light little side salad for anything you want. Pretty cool. All right, let's go on to the next one. So we've got tsunamono out of the way. Next step is going to be a pesto. I got more greens over here. What are we going to do with more greens? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to chop them up, and we're going to serve them. That's right, everybody. Okay. Since we've got a lot of stem here. Take that off. Get those off there. We're going to be chopping up a lot of this. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go with a pesto. Very simple. Pesto is actually quite easy if you think about it. I do this all the time with cilantro, parsley, especially stems. When you have cilantro, parsley, things like that with stems, that once you cut all the leaves off, you go, oh no, I'm not going to do anything with that because they're stems. Well, they go great in pesto because you're just going to mash the crap out of it, which is what we're going to do here. Because these are going to mash down pretty fine. So let's go ahead, take that. That's good enough. So pesto is an herb of some kind, like classically, traditionally basil. You know, basil pesto. That is going to be pine nuts, olive oil, garlic, basil, and Parmesan cheese. That's your basic there, maybe a little salt and pepper. So what I've got is, it can be pretty much any nut. You can play around and try different things. We've got carrot top. Guess what else I've got? I've got cashews. Cashews. Look at that. Throw some cashews in there. Okay, got that. What else do I have? I got some garlic. A couple cloves of garlic. Throw those in there. What else do I have? Parmesan cheese. Boom. There we go. Parmesan cheese. And so I'm going to add some oil here. Goodly amount of oil there. Probably going to have to add more oil, but I'm going to give it a good batch now because we're going to use my favorite, ladies and gentlemen. What is Spike Spencer's favorite tool in the kitchen? Baby boat motor. Okay, we're going to go right down with the baby boat motor. Make some noise. I can tell you right now, I'm going to need more oil, but as we go further, it's going to loosen up. No problem. Let's hit it. More oil. There we go. May have to mix it up a little bit. It's starting to loosen. Get it loose. There we go. There it's coming. A little more oil. Just kind of play around with it. It doesn't have to be anything specific. This is the thing, you got to get away from recipes. You got to get away from recipes. You just kind of got to know what works. I think I'll do a show just on that. It's like, hey, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami. Meh, done. There it is. And that, my friends, is a pesto. We have a pesto. I'm going to put the pesto here where you can see the color. It is deep, it is rich, it is Beautiful. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Pesto is a great way to save herbs that are on their way out. Seriously, you can put any herb, you can make any kind of pesto, and then sneak it in something. I layer like parsley pesto on my lasagnas sometimes. Make that layer, nice little slab. Over here. See what I'm dealing with. Oh man, okay. That is floral and green. It's like kind of grassy. Here's the color. Ha ha ha. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. It's amazing. So there you have it. We have our pesto. Now, the next step we're going to go to is Chime Choy. Ay, 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 ay. All right. We like Chime Choy. Ooh, see, a little black spot there. We're going to get rid of that. Tell you what's really fun is when you're dealing with your fresh herbs from your garden and you look down and there's a spider looking back at you. Yeah. I don't like spiders. Okay. Like, hey, as long as you're out there and you're doing your thing, that's great. You hitch a ride and come into my house, you're going to die. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't care. That's great. It's like, no, it's great. It's the circle of life and they do all the, don't care. Don't care. You stay out. You stay out there. Like, oh, well, you brought him in. You brought him in the house. That's my carrots. That is. Don't argue with me. So, okay. Getting all these done. Looking fabulous. So this one, for a good Chime Choy, you're not going to want to blend it. It's not like a pesto. This is a rougher chop that we're going to look for. So once you get your green, just start chopping. Give it, you're going to probably want to run through it a couple of times, depending on how good you are at chopping. Move around. Because you want to have herb, classically, Chime Choy is done with parsley. I've experimented with other things, and this being one of them, obviously. And it's quite nice. And Chime Choy lasts longer than you think it does because it's mainly vinegar. We're using red wine vinegar. That's the key. Red wine vinegar. You can play with other ones. That's fine. I mean, I love how people are like, no, it can only be this way. I'm watching videos out there, cooking videos, and people are, some trend now where they're taking somebody else's video and just being nasty about it. I think that sucks. I think that's awful. Because you know what? People don't do things the way I do. Awesome. It's a different flavor. Yay. We love that, right? So, vive la différence, okay? That's what I say. Vive la différence. If you want to make fun of the way I do things, great. Come do it in my kitchen. Okay? Because I'm not going to come to your kitchen and bitch about what you do. I'm going to say, woo, how did you do that? Why did you do that? How does it change the flavor? Does it do this? Does it do that? Blah, 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 blah. All right. We have greenery. We have our greens for our Chime Choy. We've got some garlic. I want to make sure and chop that up. Nice and fine as well. Yes, that's my chopping sound, apparently. I make funny voices, and obviously, because it's what I've done for 30 years, but funny sounds while I cook for the kids. They laugh. It makes me happy. Now, this is a good chop for Chime Choy. If you want to even make it a little further, you can kind of mash it. Give it a good mashing on the side here. There we go. And of course, with all these recipes, you can add salt and pepper. I highly recommend you add salt and pepper. Everything. I just don't have any salt and pepper over here with me right now. So you can always do that at the end. Not a problem. Garlic. We love our garlic. All right. We have carrot tops, garlic. I'm going to put some dried oregano. This is straight from my garden. I have some lovely oregano. I dried it just like I dried the carrot tops. Give it a good... That's good sprinkling. And then we add the red wine vinegar. There we go. a goodly amount. And a little olive oil. Pop that in there. And then we use a spoon, or I could use my finger, but hey. There we go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Chime Choy. This is fabulous on a steak. Classic Argentinian, South American chimichurri. Awesome, awesome. Someday I'm going to go down to Argentina and get like certified as an Argentinian grill master just because I want to. And there's a place you can do that. All right, give it a little taste. What do we think? What are we missing? What do we need? Salt. I need some salt, some pepper, maybe a little more garlic. Good to go. This gets better as it sits. So, ladies and gentlemen, one other thing that you could add is red pepper flakes. I don't, my kids don't like spicy, so I'm not going to add those. And I would even, this might be sacrilege, I might even add a little bit of sugar just to take the bite down just a hair. But as this sits, that bite's going to go away, and the garlic is going to kind of blossom a little more. There we go. What else do we have? Sunomono, chimi, pesto. I have done the show. That's great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to do a recap, and we're done with the Carrot Top show. I'm excited. I hope you learned something because I love finding other things to do with the things that I grow. I'm like, if it comes out of the land, if it comes out of the ground, there's got to be a reason. Some of it you can't. Like, I'm not going to munch down on potato leaves. But there's lots of other things. So what we did, we have our Carrot Top dried and powdered. Remember that for the greens. We had the Carrot Tops blanched and shocked, then frozen for backup. And then took that drained and mixed with sunomono and sesame seeds for a nice sunomono salad. Usually it is by the way, cucumber. Sunomono is the cucumber salad. I just replace it with, so that's not like official sunomono, just so you know. My Japanese friends are like, I don't. Well, there you go. Now I told you. Ha-ha, I'm off the hook. Then we made the Carrot Top Pesto and Carrot Top Chime Choy. This has been the Carrot Top Show. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends about Chow Time. Straight out of my kitchen, straight out of my heart, right into your belly. That sounds weird, but it's good because it's my show. All right, thank you so much. Be sure and subscribe. I will see you next time on Chow Time. Let's eat.